Ladies and gentlemen, with some recent news and hot takes on Twitter, we're back with another topic of contention. Riot constantly reworks new champions. I've always held the same opinion as this, and I've kind of wondered if Riot really knows what they're doing. Allow me to elaborate and enlighten you. Let me ask you a question, because something that's always crossed my mind is, why make deadlines for everything? Because to me, when you look at Shyvana, the current hotness, this is what I think. I believe the reason why she came out is because they really want to push her for the Demacia season, with the obvious lore rewrite and an attempt to make the event/season special. But it's clear by the huge wall of text and 2 screenshots that they already have different plans for her. We are already shifting her identity and kind of mini reworking her. So I ask of you, viewer, is it not irrational to release something in such an unready state? I would rather not have something be rushed out and refined over time until it is in the best state it could be in. And as an off tangent, I feel like a lot of skins nowadays really suffer from this. Some skin lines just get entirely sidelined. An easy example would be how they just released a lone Sivir for the Project skin line. And you have things like High Noon Irelia, who was literally sidelined for Senna. It looks like they just threw her into the skin line. Which is a shame, because it makes some skins feel like they had care put into them, and some just feel like Riot does not gaff. Like they just have to push something out to appease people. Don't worry, 1000 day champion with no skin. We're making one just for you. Back on topic. I and many other Shyvana enjoyers would have gladly waited much longer for her rework to come out in a better position. What is the point of pushing out a rework if you're already going to gut hotfix her on release, and then proceed to have the balance team probably work their already overloaded plates to try and figure out how to balance this new problem? Mildly infuriating, is it not? But let's move on to the next topic. While we're taking up budget from the balance team to figure out how to deal with this monstrosity that just hit the towers, we also have another problem. What happens if you change them too much? Allow me to regale you with a funny story. Jacob Llama Crouch. This Rioter helped design 2 champions, Smolder and Cassante. But here's the thing, he was laid off. So the guy who helped make these 2 champions is now gone, which means the guy who knows how to balance their personally made champions and the only qualified person or people to work on them aren't here to balance them, which leads some champions to end up playing entirely different from their original design. Case in point, Cassante. This should set off nothing but red flags. Even the Valorant E-daters don't want to fuck with this level of red flag. Maybe those sykkuno girls or whatever would be interested? I don't know. Anyways, as a result, we end up with a champion like Cassante, who have had 3 full kit reworks at this point. But that's not all. We have so many problem childs that stem from what I would call Riot's new champion design philosophy. New champions get reworked because they are a fundamental problem. Old champions get reworked because they suck. We are not the same. Champions like Senna have had 16 passive drop rate changes. Zeri is getting another rework. Mel has just been recently reworked. Nefiri has been reworked. Rel has been reworked. Yumi has been reworked. The list goes on. And it will continue to go on, because this type of thing won't end. We just hope Riot gets these reworks down at some point. But there is another underlying issue that can be bundled with a modern champ getting reworked. What happens if they get things wrong and too many things change? Because these things usually aren't small. They affect every part of a champion's kit. So sometimes, as a result, the people who fall in love with the champion's whatever previous design, different iteration, or original identity are now kind of homeless. Just all more pressure on an already overwhelmingly pressured balance team. But there is one last issue I want to quickly cover. What happens if they can't figure out any good or healthy changes that might help solve this issue? Well, there's a high likelihood that champion just gets abandoned or left in a state untouched until billions of years later. And that's just kind of how it is. It's been like that for a while now. If only there was some other way to make more space, so they could have less constraints with problematic designs and help with some of the older problems left untouched. But I digress. What do I know? I'm just an idiot making shit up. Riot will never condone my channel. They probably hate me, in fact. But I couldn't agree more. Plus, most of League's identity nowadays is more about favoring high elo player content. People don't really care about shit like this. Anyways, I'm rambling. Start a war in the comment section. Spread this around to other people. Like, subscribe, contact Mr.Beast, and get me to win $1 million. Support me. So maybe one of these days, Riot will acknowledge our voices or something. I don't know. Help me out or some shit. Type shit. Help! Help me! Help! Help me!